So today we're taking a closer look at Laventura Viura, the white wine from South African winemaker Bryan MacRobert, who, although he grew up in South Africa, son of winemaking parents, moved to Spain about 10 years ago and got married to a girl in Rioja and is now settled there with his wife and family and makes wonderful wines that really sing with a sense of place. And that terrible expression that we use a lot in the wine world, but these are wines which are really very much trying to express what the grape Viura means when it is grown in the soils around Logroño. So Viura is a traditional Riojan grape. It's been growing in the DO for many decades, and winemakers used to appreciate it because it was a very vigorous grape. Gave lots of fruit, a high yielding variety, and people appreciated it because of that. And perhaps as a consequence, it suffered from a bit of a bad reputation as being slightly neutral, not that flavoursome. So what Bryan is trying to do now with his wines is to really reinstate Viura as an historic wine that is typical of the region of Rioja, and to showcase it, showcase everything that it's capable of. So, and this is something that he does right across his range, whether he's working with Viura on the white side, with red grape Tempranillo, or with Garnacha or other smaller varieties that he's using in some of his red blends. Like lots of Spanish winemakers, Bryan takes a minimal intervention approach in the vineyard. The wine is not officially certified as organic. That's partly because the bureaucracy involved in getting a wine certified as organic is quite tiresome, quite long-winded, a bit like me. But he does take a minimal intervention approach, so he steers well clear of any chemicals or pesticides in the vineyard. Because some of the plots are small and difficult to access, mules are used to work the land in between the vines, and really to take a very careful approach when he's farming his vines. And in the vineyard, once the grapes have been manually harvested and brought into the winery in Logroño, this is an oak-fermented wine. So the grapes go into 600-litre French oak foudres, as they're known, large barrels, and there it is fermented. So as well as having some of the primary aromas from the vineyard, it's taking already in the fermentation process, it's taking on some secondary aromas from the wood in the winery. And once fermentation has finished, the wine then goes into more oak to rest for a little and sit on its lees for a few months, again to round it off and to help broaden that palette of flavours and aromas. So what does it taste like? Well, this is a very expressive example of Viura, which is exactly what Bryan is trying to achieve, a really rounded, expressive wine. And you're going to find flavours of apples, pears, lime and peach, lovely balance, very good acidity, some nice rounded body in there, all that time in the wood, both fermenting and resting afterwards. It's giving the wine a nice satisfying feeling in the mouth. It's really filling your mouth, and it's helping the wine to linger on the palate long after you've swallowed it. So there we are. That's the Laventura Viura, the 2020 vintage. Limited edition, just over 4,000 bottles made of this vintage, about 4,133 to be precise. So you can snap this up while stocks last on Simply Spanish Wine. Thanks for listening. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.